If you think your job is just about performance, you're already inside the system. After what happened in part 1, I kept replaying one moment in my head. Not the meeting itself, not even the words I heard, but the fact that no one reacted to it at all. As if hearing my name inside a closed-door meeting was completely normal. And that's when a disturbing thought started forming. What if nothing was hidden? What if I was just late to understanding how everything already works? Most people believe work is simple. You perform well, you get rewarded. You fail, you get correct. You improve, you move forward. It feels logical, clean, and fair. But that version of reality only exists on the surface, because underneath, something else is always running. Something most people never notice. It doesn't judge you like a person. It doesn't care about effort or intention. It watches something else entirely. Your pattern. How you react under pressure. How often you challenge things. How quickly you adapt. How predictable your behavior becomes over time. And slowly, without realizing it, you stop being evaluated for what you do and start being evaluated for what you are likely to do next. That changes everything. Because once a system can predict you, it no longer needs to understand you. It only needs to manage you. That's why some people in companies behave strangely stable. They are not the best. They are not the worst. They are something more dangerous to the system. Consistent. They never surprise anyone, never disrupt decisions, never create uncertainty. They, hijos fit. La rodimar. And when you fit too well, you stop being noticed as an individual and become part of the structure. At first, that sounds like a good thing. Being reliable, being trusted, being predictable. But the more I looked around, the more I realized something unsettling. Those people are not moving forward. They are being held in place, quietly, systematically, without anyone ever telling them. No one gets a message saying you are now in the stable category. No one gets warned. No one gets informed. It happens silently, through small decisions no one connects together. A delayed reply here, a removed responsibility there, a reassigned task somewhere else, a meeting you are no longer invited to. Not suddenly, but gradually enough that it feels normal. And that's the trick. Nothing ever looks like a decision. Everything looks like coincidence. But when enough of those coincidences stack together, a pattern appears. And that pattern has direction. Some people rise, some people disappear, and some people stay exactly where they are for years. Not because they failed, but because nothing about them creates tension in the system. And that's where control becomes invisible, because control is not always restriction. Sometimes control is comfort. If everything feels smooth, if nothing challenges your position, if nothing forces change, you stop noticing that anything could be different at all. And that is exactly how a system becomes stable. Not by forcing people, but by shaping what they consider normal. That's where calibration comes in. A word that sounds harmless on the surface, like adjustment, optimization, alignment. But in reality, it is the moment the system checks whether a person still fits the version of stability it expects. Not whether they are good or bad, but whether they still behave within an acceptable range of unpredictability. Because even good people can become risky if they start thinking differently, questioning patterns, or reacting in unexpected ways. And when that happens, subtle changes begin. Changes you don't notice immediately, because they don't happen directly to you. They happen around you. Responses slow down, attention shifts slightly away. Decisions involving you take longer. You are still included, but less central. Still present, but less influential. And nothing about it feels official, because nothing is ever announced. It is simply experienced. That's why most people never realize it while it's happening. They only realize it later, when things feel different enough that they can no longer ignore it. And by then, it has already been in motion for a long time. Which brings us back to the email. We are scheduling your calibration review next week. At first glance, it looks like routine corporate language, another meeting, another process, another internal step. But the more you read it, the less it feels like a request, and the more it feels like confirmation. Not of something about to happen, but of something that has already been happening quietly for a long time. Because nothing in systems like this begins at the moment you notice it. It begins long before that, when your patterns are first recorded, when your behavior becomes predictable, when your decisions start forming a shape, the system can understand. And once that shape is clear enough, everything after that is just observation. So when you hear about calibration, the real question is not what happens during it. The real question is, how long has the system already been calibrating you without ever telling you? And if that process has been running silently in the background for weeks, months, maybe even years, then the most uncomfortable question is not about the meeting. It's this. If your behavior has already been shaped gradually over time, how much of your current path is still actually yours? And how would you even know if it wasn't?